Hi, praise be to God. The word of the Lord today is about whatever is the Lord's belongs to the Lord. The book of Exodus chapter 13 verse 11 to 13 says that, after the Lord brings you into the land of Canaanites and gives it to you as he promised on oath to you and your ancestors, you are to give over to the Lord the first offspring of every womb. All the firstborn males of your livestock belong to the Lord. Redeem with a lamb every firstborn donkey, but if you do not redeem it, break its neck. Redeem every firstborn among your sons. Notice that out of all the firstborn male animals that belong to God, God did not want a donkey. So he asked the Israelites to redeem it with a lamb instead. Notice that the donkey had to be redeemed with the lamb and not any other animal. God preferred a lamb over a firstborn donkey, and the donkeys that the Israelites did not redeem had to be killed. The firstborn donkeys that the Israelites did not redeem did not belong to them, they belonged to God, so they were not allowed to keep them. God also did not want their firstborn sons, so he asked the Israelites to redeem their sons. But he did not ask them to kill them if they didn't, just like he did with the donkeys. There was only one option regarding their sons, and that was to redeem them. In the book of 2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 1 to 2, the word of the Lord says that, after the king was settled in his palace and the Lord had given him rest from all his enemies around him, he said to Nathan the prophet, here I am living in a house of cedar, while the ark of the Lord remains in the tent. Then in verse 4 to 6, the word of the Lord says that, but that night the word of the Lord came to Nathan, saying, go and tell my servant David, this is what the Lord says, are you the one to build me a house to dwell in? I have not dwelt in a house from the day I brought the Israelites up out of Egypt to this day. I have been moving from place to place with a tent as my dwelling. So notice that as long as the ark of God remained in the tent, God's residence was in a tent. God lived in the tent of meeting. That was his dwelling. But David wanted to build the house for the Lord because he recognized that the house he was living in was way much better than the Lord's. But God refused. God says to him in verse 12 to 13 that, when your days are over and you rest with your ancestors, I will raise up your offspring to succeed you, your own flesh and blood, and I will establish his kingdom. He is the one who will build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. So to finish off, whatever is the Lord's belongs to the Lord, and he will do whatever he wants.